Welcome back, disc golf fans, to the 2024 Texas State Disc Golf Championships presented by Lone Star Discs. We are here for the final round front nine coverage in Houston, Texas, the Brock Premier course at Brock Park. I'm Nathan Queen, again joined by Andrew Fish.
Delighted to be here. You see temperatures creeping up a little bit for a very nice Sunday here that caps off a long month playing Pro Tour and majors in Texas. You see our card today is going to be Matt Orum, Randon Latta, Calvin Heimburg, and Alden Harris. Some familiar faces for this season and some new names also.
Yeah, excited to see some different guys and style of play today. You see the leaderboard through 2 rounds.
Not to be too bold about it, they might be out of contention for a chase card victory here on Gatekeeper Media, but nonetheless, lots to play for through the entire season.
Certainly so, as we move into hole 1, 740-foot par 4, almost dogleg left.
Welcome to the 2024 Texas State Disc Golf Championships, presented by Lone Star Discs. First on the box, from Creola, Alabama, representing Westside Discs and Nick Saban, please welcome Matt Orum!
Do you have a Mando to contend with on the left, right about that dog leg, and a decision whether to go straight or hyzer here for the righty? Most likely going to be dependent on that wind.
So far, we've mostly seen players going left side of the initial trees, trying to break something to the right mid-flight. Matteo will indeed do that. Distance driver holding flat and has gone far enough to totally open up his angle into the green, Nathan.
Yeah, it should be a great straight shot.
Representing Innova Champion Discs and Walking Pants, please welcome Randon Latta!
Randon with some pretty smooth, clean power if you haven't seen him throw before.
Yeah, from that southwest Florida, I guess central west Florida cradle of really good golfers. Like Calvin Heimburg, Randon is going to display backhand form that is great at low ceiling, straight, flat shots.
Just like that one. Going to be in a good spot as well.
Squatch in Flight Factory, please welcome Calvin Heimburg!
It looks to me like Calvin is backing off on his disc selection, going down to a fairway driver so we can go full swing. And fine decision, poor execution on the height.
Yeah, just a little bit low.
Out our card from Woodstock, Georgia, representing Disc Mania, please welcome Alden Harris!
We've seen all 3 players so far throw pretty low, probably trying to combat that wind. You can see the foliage moving around over on the left side. Getting it up too high might get some unnerving reactions.
And taking the road less traveled is Alden Harris. And creeping towards the left side. That contends with an out-of-bounds line. Spotter will take a good close look at it.
Yeah, maybe those trees showing you why most people going straight. You do have to get some pretty good height to get over top of those trees with that backhand hyzer. Looks like Alden will be safe. Not trying to attack the green here, but just trying to get as much forward progress as possible and gives himself a pretty open approach for par.
Yeah, that's responsible. No need to go crazy and risk an out-of-bounds stroke. Heimburg did enough to set him up here with a pretty long, low-ceiling shot. But that's going to get eaten up in the clovers.
Yeah, you nailed the difficult part of this shot with that low ceiling. If you don't move left, it makes it a lot harder to carry that shot without trying to test those branches up top. Randon's done so pretty well. Gets a little bit of angle on that to drag over rather than just flat, allows it to glide a little bit more. He's going to card the birdie.
Matteo goes forehand to widen his angle of approach, and very successfully done to about 15 feet.
And that's what you want to see after you have to play for par. You don't want to putt. You just want to lay it on up there.
Outside look for Vinny off the top, so he will also have to settle for that par.
Yeah, some good glide on that, though. Difficult from that far to really putt that far. You know, good bid, missing high. Matteo taps in his birdie.
Hole 2, 360 feet, a par 3. The drone flies straight. Most people are going to take something out to the left side, either a forehand or a turnover shot. Tricky part of this is that there are some residual bunkers from the golf use, and Matteo's going to tag the first tree, that are hazards. So the closer you get to this basket, the more you're introducing the possibility of a hazard stroke.
Yeah, that's not a mistake you're going to see very often up here on these top cards, to miss this gap. Not exactly sure what happened there for Matteo. Randon found some sand, it looks like, but he's going to end up with a green flag.
Calvin with the fairway driver, I think. And stays low on the hill. That is safe, putting up at the bucket. Oh, I take it back.
Yeah, some weird ground reaction there. Randon's hitting sand inbounds. Calvin, we didn't see any sand, as Alden gonna squeeze in between that hazard and the long OB line, give himself what looks to be a circle 2 putt. And pretty much same shot, just shorter now for Matteo. Able to execute nicely, he'll retain his par. The basket's got a bit of a force field on it right now. Guy's coming up just a bit low. Let's see if Calvin can get his par coming out of the hazard.
He can, minimizing the damage.
Moves us into hole 3, 870 foot, par 4. Distance is gonna play depending on the wind. It's been a pretty good wind for this hole the first 2 rounds, making it pretty reachable for majority of the field. If you've got a headwind, though, that second shot gets a lot longer and a lot harder to reach. Is some OB down the left side late, as well as right side.
Matt Orum, that counts as a fairway hit, but he never quite got the disc up to flat to get that bonus glide. Randon going to use a lot more room out to the right side. I like the idea of this because it is going to open up his angle considerably.
Yeah, get some good carry on that one as well. Calvin does flatten this one out and get some good distance. He's going to be over their left side looking at another straight or hyzer shot.
And Alden, with great but not elite power, I would expect has to make sure he's throwing 2 full shots here. Whereas Randon and Calvin probably backing off a little bit on the second.
And Alden did get out there nicely. He reached that flat spot up top. Usually if you reach that flat spot, you should be able to reach the next, or the pin with a good throw from there. As Matteo comes up just a bit short on that upslope, he'll have himself a birdie look if he wants it. Depends on how far down that hill he is.
Yeah, we saw some round 2 theatrics of what this basket is capable of. Randon, oh, this is going to stall back down the hill, I think. Still putting, still in bounds, but not driven all the way to the bucket like you'd want.
No, Alden going last here after calling him out for not throwing as far, gonna go long and have that comeback putt.
Yeah, shows what I know.
As Randon did run that putt and doesn't get away from him after catching metal. Matty O able to connect. He's gonna card himself another birdie. It's a tough putt uphill in the wind. 3 birdies.
Beth at 69.
I just told myself, you got to will this one in there. Whatever you have, just will it in there.
This man is unbelievable. This is what athletes live for. This is the moment.
Got a good day coming, and it's all I need. Everything I wanted is in front of me. It's a good, thing.
Hole 4, 405 feet, a par 3. Essentially playing as an island green that is well out of view to the left. We're going to see 4 backhands here, trying to push the back wall of pines and then break pretty hard left. Matty's actually going to split a couple of those, get to pin high right.
Yeah, pretty deceptive how far you really want to move left here. As from the tee pad, it looks like that's going to be moving too far left and pushing OB, but really, he's parked. So we'll take a look at that again.
That looks like a hyzer into the woods, and it is a bullseye.
Yeah, beautiful control there from Calvin. This is inside. But it's gonna, I think, sneak through the edge of that OB tree line there on the left and end up with a birdie putt.
And somewhere in between those two is Randon Latta, circle's edge birdie putt from the short side.
Yeah, so all 4 players on the green. That's pretty impressive in general. The small entrance here, Matty O able to connect with another long birdie putt. 3 down through 4, great start.
He's so dangerous when you let him get started. A little bit of disbelief from both Alden and Randon.
And Alden not quite able to collect himself before that par comebacker. Gonna have our first bogey on the card. As we move into hole 5, 351 foot par 3. Got this kind of false front shelf that makes the hole look shorter than it actually is. But then you've got a pretty big drop off right behind it, so you've got to make sure you dial in your distance. Depending on the flare there, that looked like a good shot for Matty O. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be circle's edge putting back up at the basket.
That's a fine spot to be. I'd rather be down there than
Right
where
there.
Calvin is. Both are equally open, but Calvin has a lot more consequence if he misses.
Yeah, I think this is a great designed par 3 as Randon throwing the very difficult turnover shot down the left side we haven't seen yet. Got a nice tree backstop as well. He's going to be looking for a birdie.
Yeah, it took a ton of speed into that. I think it was a mid-range still. And Alden with good distance control, but then going to get a rotten reaction down to the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, just maybe 2 feet shorter, and it's going to land flat enough to sit down. Calvin with a pretty scary putt. And pretty friendly reaction for hitting the top of that. He's going to stay inside circle 1. Not quite friendly there for Alden. I think it's kind of the uphill angle of that that's going to make that one jump out.
Yeah, back edge of the disc catches a nub. Matteo able to convert for his birdie.
Gobble, gobble.
Calvin cleans up the par. That'll take us on to hole 6, 665 feet, a par 4. OB down the left side, tree line to the right, and then the basket is going to be right. It's so hard to string together 2 shots here because your first one is cut off on how far you can actually throw it.
And still going to be a bit too far right, but that was a good cut roll out to the left there for Matteo. Try to give him a bit more angle. This has got to get down, as Randon got that over a bit too much, and it caught some glide. Looks like they're playing with some headwind here.
Calvin, the backhand fairway driver. I think you're right. Everybody's had a sneaky headwind that's kind of turned them over and kept their shots low. Alden manages that well. But we're all pretty far back here on the fairway.
Yeah, I think Alden and Calvin are going to have decent angles, although they're pretty far back. Matteo is going to have a hard time getting right. Doesn't look like he was even trying to reach the pin there, just playing smart.
And this is a full swing forehand.
Man, did he get some power on that one.
Absolutely. Chance for the save down here from about 27 feet.
Yeah, beautiful shot there from Randon.
Alden is almost exclusively a backhand player. He'll break out the forehand occasionally, but this is a miss. I don't know what angle he was trying to play.
I think he was playing layup, and that headwind just kind of kept his disc afloat, I suppose. Did look like that was definitely layup distance play, though. Just didn't quite hit the layup right. Calvin more aggressive, going to catch those branches on the corner, effectively turning into that layup play. Nice up and down there, but after being inbounds off of the tee, you're not going to want to card that bogey.
Matteo for the layup, and Calvin to do the same. A little bit on the short side here, but as we get down to the circle, oh yes.
Yeah. Big par save there for Randon. You could see it, little fist pump. Calvin able to collect his par as well after a little bit of a shorter upshot. Moves us into hole 7, 294-foot par 3. You want to push pretty straight. There is kind of a bit of a left to right bend here, as Matteo going to tag that tree in the middle, kind of defining the line here. It does look like there's space on the right, but the left side really is what you want. Randon's drawn it up well.
Yeah, you push the trees that are straight ahead that Calvin is going towards, and then anything that breaks after that usually ends up just fine.
Yeah, Calvin gets some nice ground play. Going to be up inside circle 1. What a smooth shot there from Alden. And a smooth little tree kick. He's going to be right at the bullseye. He'll go and card himself a bounce back birdie.
It seems like about time that the course gives him something back.
Yeah, I agree. Gets him back to even. Calvin hitting another good putt. He's going to be 3 down on his round now. Oh, and he knew it out of his hand, Fish.
Yep, kind of alligator armed it. Hole 8, 1161, a par 5. We go into a back 11 here that's much flatter than the front, and going to be a lot of straight par 4s and this par 5. You throw one big shot about as far as you can, and then you kind of just have to pick your way through some trees that are scattered. Every shot here has to get at least 400 feet to start to really have a chance at your bird.
Yeah, and it seems like the big distance guys are all going left of those mounds you see up there. I don't know if it's either to avoid footing or just to give them more space for a big hyzer.
I think the latter.
Okay. Yeah, I don't throw that far, so I've just been watching, trying to figure that one out.
I have been trying to set myself up on the right side in order to throw a gap shot, because if I go over, it's really killing my distance potential.
Yep, I was likely looking at that same gap. As we see some distance drives going on here. All pretty similar. Randon's going to be just in front of those mounds we were talking about.
Matty will play the gap shot, pushing straight ahead off to the left side, probably leaving strong putter or soft mid into the green.
Yeah, Randon going to go up with some flex.
Calvin, more of a hyzer, swinging off to the left. Should still have a good amount of space there.
Yeah, it looked like he got some good distance on that. And Alden
I was kind of hoping I'd see a roller out of Alden here. He might not have had the right angle to get there.
Yeah, it does hit the gap, but had it a bit turned over, so it doesn't get the distance that he was wanting on it. It looks like Randon's still having to go pretty big here. Gonna end up catching some trees and falling short again.
Trying to play the right side flex. We've seen some erratic ground play. Sometimes you get completely dug up in thick clovers or grass. Sometimes take rocket skips.
Yeah, that one seemed a bit on the low side to have a good angle for that rocket skip. Matty O gets a good skip up there. Gonna go ahead and card himself another birdie.
And Calvin, overstable putter into the green. A little bit of a comebacker left.
Tough one to give a full bid there, circle 2, with the wind how it is out here. Alden was able to get up there inside circle 1, and with back-to-back birdies, he's pushed his round under par now.
So we will see 3 birdies on hole 8. Man, they make it look so easy with the big distance.
Indeed they do. Speed, as well as that long distance, will help you out on this hole. 360-foot par 3, another low ceiling. So speed on a slower disc is going to be the best play. Try to get it up there, but not get a huge skip. Calvin has lots of speed and is able to throw a slower disc. That was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, with the wind kind of howling in the cameras with a right to left, as we see on the flags behind, Alden gets this turned over a little bit, and that pushes it down and holds it to the right rather than letting it fade back softly.
Yeah, and very tight OB left and right on this one. Alden will likely be pretty close to that OB line. Matty O gets a nice touch off of the branch there. Seen lots of mean stopping kicks from these trees. Not too many keep on flying.
And playing a left to right shot is Randon. Pretty well done. He'll be up there on the green.
Yeah, I like that play. There is the most airspace there. The ceiling's just a little bit higher. As Alden is right there by the OB. Not quite able to commit. Looks like he was obstructed by that tree a little bit.
Randon does knock down the birdie. Gets him to 3 down. And holding on to that top 10 after 9 holes here in the final round.
And Matty O with the long comeback putt after that branch. Maybe it kept him from going long OB. Guess we'll never know. As we've got 3 birdies here on hole 9. I'd say the card played that hole well.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of green on the scorecards, Alden with a couple of bogeys, but plenty more scoring opportunities on the back 9. We are delighted that you've joined us here for the Texas State Championships, and certainly hope you will like and subscribe to Gatekeeper Media's YouTube channel. For Nathan Queen, I'm Andrew Fish.
We'll see you guys out there.